Hey guys, HTV here and welcome to a brand new video. Today we've got a ton of things to go over. We have some new leak updates regarding DLC for Pokemon Legends ZA. We have some miscellaneous Pokemon updates that have been announced. We've got some Switch 2 updates to go over and some Generation 10 rumors as well. Plenty of things to break down today, so if you're excited for the video, drop a like down below, leave a comment, subscribe if you're brand new, and let's get into the video. So, starting things off, let's quickly go over some new Pokemon events that have been announced. The first one takes us to Pokemon Go. We've got Cerebi here tweeting out saying, Cerebi update, the next Pokemon Go raid day has been announced. Sparring partners. It focuses on Mega Heracross, Hariyama and Scraggy, and this runs from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. on the 13th of April 2025. So that is, well, that's this Sunday. So yeah, Mega Heracross back in the game for obviously people that missed the raid day, and then Hariyama, Scraggy as well that you can also grab. So that is the new Pokemon Go raid day. And then moving on, we also have the new Battle Pass update as well for Pokemon Unite. So we've got Cerebi here tweeting out saying, Cerebi update, Pokemon Unite has announced the next Battle Pass. It adds Hollow of Sacred Style Eldegoss and also Noble Style Leafeon into the game. And that runs from the 17th of April 2025, which is next Thursday. So those are the Pokemon Go updates and the Pokemon Unite updates. Moving on, let's take a look at this Legends ZA DLC leak update. So this was posted on the r/PokeLeaks Reddit, but it was taken from the Ball Guy Discord, which is where he's kind of posting all these leaks and story leaks and Mega Evolution stuff, everything like that. But this was a post saying the ZA DLC was planned a year after the initial ZA release date, might still happen later on. So we had Hopium Master basically asking the question, what is the probability of a Pokemon Legends ZA DLC happening? Hope must remain alive. And then he said it was planned June of this year, because you got to remember Pokemon Legends ZA was pushed back. It was originally supposed to come out in 2024, and then we were also supposed to get DLC in 2025 in June. But because the game got pushed back, we don't really know what's happening with the DLC right now. But he's saying, yeah, that's probably a bomb, as in, like, that's probably some big information. So, DLC was planned for this game, but now Legends ZA, instead of coming out late 2024, is coming out late 2025. When are they really going to have the time to drop this DLC? Because if the game does come out, let's say, September, October, November time, or whatever like that, we know that Generation 10 is going to get revealed in February 2026, most likely, for the 30th anniversary on Pokemon Day. So when are they going to fit that DLC in? They could, I guess, announce DLC on that Pokemon Day Presents as well, and then drop that in like May, and then obviously just keep promoting Pokemon Generation 10. But are they going to want to promote two things at once? Because they're going to want to promote the DLC for Legends ZA at the same time as promoting Generation 10. So it either means we get like a ton of trailers throughout the 30th anniversary next year, or it means that the DLC is just not going to happen. We have a couple of ideas about how the DLC is going to kind of potentially, I guess, take part of this game and stuff. We've got this person here saying, I suppose it depends on when exactly these things were being developed, why it was delayed, etc. But I imagine DLC would be relatively easy to reschedule, as it's a hell of a lot less committal than a game's full launch. I'd wager there's a strong chance it's on the card still. Also could provide a convenient place for our 27th Mega Evolution, being Zeraora, of course, cancelled in the base game of Pokemon Legends ZA, but might come into the DLC, might come into Pokemon Champions, as speculation was suggesting. Knowing it was planned lends a lot of credence to this, assuming the leaks are legit, of course. And then we also have my this person here saying, my personal opinion is that it might be normal paid DLC, because initial release date was June 2024. We had a whole empty year, which would have been perfect for DLC to fill the spot. It was supposed to come out 1 year after the game released. I don't think they could need that much time / planning if it was just a free update like Pokemon Legends Arceus. If it was just a free update, then yeah, they would literally just drop it, and they'd probably shadow drop it as well. In the Pokemon Presents next February, they could just drop the free update as a shadow drop. Everybody's happy because we've got that to play, and then obviously Generation 10 gets announced as well. For it to be a paid DLC, though, they're obviously going to want to promote it more and give you a reason to buy it. And then a few more people saying, only thing I find questionable about this is how they've opted to not release full games on the 2 years that had DLC. And besides 2024, we've had one big piece of Pokemon content every year. and 2022 when we got Pokemon Legends Arceus very early and Scarlet and Violet very late. So are they planning on releasing ZL DLC close to Generation 10, or is Generation 10 going to be 2027, or is the ZA DLC fully canned? That's what we know. They're the questions. Like, I can't see them not doing Gen 10 next year because it's literally their 30th anniversary. It just feels weird for the 30th anniversary of Pokemon, the biggest media franchise in the world, for us just to get DLC that year. Like, that'd just be so detrimental to everybody's hope about Generation 10. So I just can't see that situation coming to light. If anything, we get ZA DLC and Generation 10 next year, or the ZA is just canned and we just get Generation 10. Or maybe instead of it being a paid DLC, they kind of just break it down a bit, make it not as long and make it not as good or whatever, and then just give it as a free update. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. What are your thoughts on this? Do you like the idea that we might be getting DLC for this game? Again, it was planned. It was supposed to happen according to these leaks. So do you think that it's going to happen next year, or do you think it's just going to be completely cancelled? Let me know your thoughts on that. Obviously, I would love DLC and Generation 10 next year. It would be great. But maybe ZA comes out in like August, September time this year, and then we get the DLC around December time, because we've obviously got December being a month we've had DLC in the past. So that is also something that could happen. We just get like a ton of ZA stuff this year, and then that just kind of like paves the way open for Generation 10. But I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on it, the whole situation with this DLC. Coming up next, we have some new Nintendo Switch 2 updates. So Nintendo releases new information on the file sizes for its first-party Nintendo Switch 2 games, giving fans an idea at how much hard drive space they'll need. There is a ton of Nintendo Switch 2 updates that have come out recently over the last like 48 hours. We'll be covering a bit of it every single day, but yeah, there's like loads and loads of updates regarding the new Nintendo console. But anyway, let's take a look at game cartridge file sizes first of all. So this was posted on Game Rant, saying Nintendo's online store has revealed new details regarding the file sizes of many of its upcoming first-party Nintendo Switch 2 games, and they're smaller than most would probably imagine. It has been a big week for Nintendo fans as the company finally revealed the Nintendo Switch 2 in great detail, highlighting system specs as well as new games. Naturally, games and software were a big part of the showcase, with Nintendo revealing Mario Kart World, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Kirby Air Riders, and plenty of third-party support, including a surprising exclusive from software game called The Duskbloods. The presentation also highlighted the Nintendo Switch 2 hardware as well, showing improvements over its predecessor like a larger screen, better audio, and a much larger hard drive to work with. Thankfully, it doesn't seem that many Nintendo games will require too much of that larger hard drive space. So the information itself comes from the official Japanese My Nintendo website, which lists the total file size requirement for a bunch of first-party Nintendo Switch 2 games. Naturally, the big Nintendo Switch 2 launch title of Mario Kart World comes in at the biggest, clocking in at over 23 gigabytes, with the next being Donkey Kong Bonanza at a much smaller 10 gigabytes. While Mario Kart World may seem sizable, the 23.4 gigabyte actually only represents around 10% of the total hard drive space of the Nintendo Switch 2, so players will still have plenty of room to add to their collection without having to clear space. So this is what I really love about Nintendo. They really minimize the hard drive space needed for these games, which is brilliant because, like, let's take the PlayStation 5 for example. With the hard drive you get with that, you can kind of install like 4 games and that's it. Whereas on this, you can kind of install like 10, you know, and it just makes life a lot easier. You don't have to keep reinstalling, uninstalling games, everything like that. So always been a massive fan of how Nintendo have done that. And then it says, confirmed Nintendo Switch 2 first-party game sizes. So we have Mario Kart World coming in at 23.4 gigabytes. GameCube Classic Collection, so The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker, Soul Calibur 2, F-Zero GX only being at 3.5 gigabytes. Super Mario Jamboree Nintendo Switch 2 Edition coming in at 7.7 gigabytes. Donkey Kong Bonanza coming in at 10 gigabytes. And then Kirby and the Forgotten Land Switch 2 Edition coming in at 5.7 gigabytes. Looking at this, I'd expect to place Legend ZA probably between Donkey Kong Bonanza and Super Mario Jamboree. So you're looking at around 7.5 gigabytes for the new Pokemon game. Says it's worth noting that the GameCube Classic Collection will continue to increase in size as more games are added to the service over time. One thing that isn't immediately clear is how large the Nintendo Switch 2 enhanced editions of Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom will be from their original Switch counterparts. Hard drive space has continued to be a growing concern for many players, especially with the rise of live service games like Fortnite, Genshin Impact, and Call of Duty Warzone. These games continue to expand and evolve over time, requiring larger portions of hard drive space and oftentimes forcing players to clear space to download the latest update. Thankfully, it appears that Nintendo has considered this in its design process, even going as far as utilizing NVIDIA's DLSS technology for the Nintendo Switch 2, which uses upscaling technologies to allow the system to use lower resolution assets as the tech improves them on the fly. So, yeah, not bad at all. Really good file sizes, especially with the actual hard drive we get with the Nintendo Switch 2. And then, of course, you can then pay a bit more money to get the new SD card specifically made for the Nintendo Switch 2 in order to have even more space. But yeah, it's good that they're not going to be like 80 gigabyte games that like you'd see on PC or you'd see on like PlayStation, stuff like that. Coming up next, carrying on the talk about file sizes, we have My Nintendo News here tweeting out saying CD Projekt Red confirms 64 gigabytes is max Nintendo Switch 2 cartridge capacity. So you're never going to be installing a game higher than 64 gigabytes on the Nintendo Switch 2. So it's just a little quick article about this saying one of the surprising announcements during the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct presentation is that CD Projekt Red is fully on board with the system and is bringing the now well-received Cyberpunk 2077 to the platform. Many have been wondering how big the game cartridges are for the Nintendo Switch 2, and it seems as though the maximum storage space available for video games is 64 gigabytes, which is the cartridge that Cyberpunk 2077 will be available on. So I don't know if that means that Cyberpunk is going to be 64 gig, or it just means that it could be up to that. I'm not really too sure. How many other developers opt to use the more expensive cartridges remain to be seen, but Cyberpunk 2077 will be a full-priced title. So, a little bit of an update regarding what you can be expecting to see. So, the Nintendo games luckily will be like around, 10 to 25 gigabytes. Your third-party games might be a little bit more storage hungry, but at the same time, at least it's never going to be going over 64 gigs. So, at least you could install like 4 or 5 64 gigabyte games onto the Nintendo Switch 2. Finishing things off for today's video though, we have a new Generation 10 rumor to go over. So this was posted on the 30th of March. They posted this image here, which has Volo in the background and then kind of has an electric rock flying superhero sort of thing here. We have here on the right, which is fire, looks like a kind of Cerberus or something like that. We have Rock Ghost, again, superhero kind of thing going on. This bottom right, we have some sort of tree, which is rock, grass, poison. At the bottom, we have some sort of wolf creature, which is fighting, water, psychic, something like that. In the bottom left, we have some sort of like demon being flying, fire, dark. Again, the superhero image of Palafin kind of popping up everywhere as well. And then on the left, we have rock, psychic. And then in the top left, we have water, which seems to be Poseidon, kind of on like a carriage with horses or something like that. So that's the image that it dropped with. And then this is the information that was posted alongside it. But again, take it with a grain of salt, posted on 4chan, very likely to be fake. A lot of Generation 10 rumors are coming out now because we're getting closer and closer to the reveal of it, even though it's still over a year, just under a year away, should I say. But either way, take it with a grain of salt, posted by it's titled X, posted by Anonymous, 30th of March. So the gimmick is called Deca Morphing. It's an ability gimmick that works kind of like Palafin's, just without switching out. You swap out the Pokemon's regular ability for a gimmick one outside of battle, like Z Crystals, and it changes as soon as it's sent out. The box legends are winged statues that have this sort of ability as well, and they have them built in. It changes form, type, and stat distribution like origin forms. Some are specific to specific Pokemon. Yes, the Kanto starters will get them. So this ability, this gimmick, just changes your regular ability to a gimmick one, whatever they may be, who knows, when you want, and they have some specific Pokemon forms as well. It says Mega Evolution will be in the game, but the Mega Evolution ability will override the gimmick ability, so you can't do both at once. So there's no new Mega Evolutions, and only the new ones from ZA will be in the base game. which doesn't really make sense. I don't know why you'd only include the new Mega Evolutions. I guess because you'd finally be able to use them competitively, but we also know that the Legend ZA Mega Evolutions are also going to be in Pokemon Champions most likely, and so they're going to be able to be used there competitively. So I'm not worried about I mean, we don't know when Champions is coming out. It's going to come out after Legends EA. We won't be able to use them, these new Mega Evolutions competitively straight away, but that just is what it is. It's just how Pokemon are doing it. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't sound like the greatest gimmick. I still think it's going to be Fusion in Generation 10. I don't know. I've been saying it for a long time. I've got no idea, but I just got a vibe that it's going to be Fusion. But all we know about Gen 10, obviously, it's archipelago of islands, probably set in Greece, probably going to be called something like Wind and Wave. And again, we've had one kind of leaked image that's come out about it of the Luminion kind of sleeping, kind of swimming underwater. So we think diving might also be in the game as well. But let me know your thoughts on this rumor here. Do you think it is true or not? I'm going to call it fake, but let me know your thoughts. Also, talk to me about the Nintendo Switch 2 updates as well with the file sizes, the DLC for Pokemon Legends ZA. What are your thoughts on this? And of course, the new events as well happening in Pokemon Go and Pokemon Unite. But thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like. Let's try and hit 500. It does really help out. Leave a comment with your thoughts on anything we covered. Subscribe if you're brand new. Ring the notification bell. It's everything from me. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And until next time, peace.